What's going on, Houston Church? This is the Houston Church podcast, the HC roll up. I don't even know what we call this thing.
We don't have a name for it yet.
We need to come up with a
We
name.
need to come up with a name, but this is our second time here on the Houston Church podcast.
Yeah.
Whatever we're naming it.
It needs to be better than this, I feel like.
Yeah.
But
We got to get a creative name for sure.
I would say if you have a name, just drop it below. Like,
Yeah. Do you have a name, Ron?
I do not. I did just fill my tea though.
We'll keep that in.
Yeah. No, I don't have a name. I was kind of thinking through that. I was like, HC podcast is all right. It just doesn't come off the tongue.
Yeah, I feel like if you say HC podcast, people don't really know what you're talking about.
No clue.
It could be Houston County. It could be.
Well, here's the crazy thing is like, this happened with a worship leader of ours a couple weeks ago. They were like, "What's up, Houston Church?"
I remember that.
And we're like, "No,
Yeah.
he's not from there."
It happens.
Yeah. Well,
That's what I said at first. I thought it was Houston.
in his defense, anytime now, like Houston, because there's like a University of Houston or Houston University or whatever. Anytime they're playing someone, I'm like, "Oh, look, it's Houston. I mean, Houston."
I do that now too. Now that I've like been around Houston a whole lot.
Yeah, it's really hard to get out of the groove, like either way. So, I'm Ryan's family pastor here.
And I'm Brandon. I'm the youth director here.
So if we haven't met you yet, we're so excited that you jumped in with us on this. So what this is, we're gonna just talk a little shop here for a little bit. We'll have chapters below. If you want to skip, go ahead, and then we're gonna dive into the message this week, which was really fun. We've got a story. You haven't heard this story yet, so I'm gonna kind of surprise you with it.
Okay.
And I got permission from the individual not only to use the story, but to use their name as well. I'm not even telling you like if it's a him or her.
Okay.
So,
I know nothing, by the way.
yeah.
I know that there's a story, but I haven't heard anything about it, and I'm excited.
It's gonna blow your mind. It's like original church, Acts chapter 2 type stuff. It's crazy.
Okay.
So, we were brainstorming. We're like, what do we want to talk about to kick everything off? And the first thing he said, he was like, I want to talk about the weather because the pollen is kicking my butt. I'd agree. My car has never been clean like in the last like 3 or 4 weeks. The pollen's everywhere.
Yeah. So I'll share a quick little story. I walked outside this morning, and I was like, wow, the weather is amazing. The sun is shining.
It feels great.
It feels great.
Yeah.
And then like 3 or 4 minutes later, I just start like tearing up. My nose is like running like crazy. I'm sneezing, and I'm like, I hate this weather.
You're like, I'm not crying. You're crying.
Exactly. I call it window down weather, where the weather is like so nice. You can drive windows down. Like you don't even got to turn the AC on in your car, which is great.
But then it gets you with the pollen.
Yeah, and I drive a black car too. So like this time of year, my car is yellow.
Yeah, it's just
It's not a black car. It's a
It's
yellow
just
car.
instantly.
Yeah.
In fact, I came to church, I think this past Sunday, either this week or the following week, whatever it was. And I was like, doing my windshield wipers.
Uh-huh.
And I thought like there was dirt on my car and it was just pollen and it just got smeared. Like I couldn't see all the way to church. I'm like, what is happening? Thankfully, like we leave so early on Sunday mornings, there's no one else on the road. So that's good.
Mhm. Or like when it rains this time of year and it's just like yellow slush like everywhere on the roads, and it's
That's the worst, man. And and you just feel congested. That was me the last podcast we did. I was coming off of like a cold or something, and I feel better finally now. It took me like 3 weeks to get over it, but I'm shocked that I'm not like losing my voice yet.
yeah. See, I'm feeling that right now. I was like sneezing all this morning.
It's like
when I
raspy
woke up, I
down.
was like, oh my gosh.
It just sits on you all night. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we also were like, man, sports are in full effect. He's like, I'm not going to talk about soccer. I'm like, you need to.
I feel like most of our viewers don't know anything about soccer. I mean, if you do, all power to you.
I don't know anything about soccer. So tell me, what are we missing right now? If like your average non-soccer fan, what are they missing right now?
I'd say if you're not a soccer fan, I'd suggest you watch the World Cup this summer. It's coming to Atlanta, by the way.
What's up?
Trying to get some tickets. I'm a little late to the game, but
If anyone has tickets out there,
yeah, hit me up. But I feel like that's one of the best ways to get into the sport. I mean, most people are like, oh, it's just people kicking around the ball, which is true.
and faking injuries.
Wow. Okay. only if you like the Brazil team, you can.
I don't even know. That feels like a really good slam. I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, it's Neymar. Anyways, I'd suggest watch the World Cup. Champions League is going on right now, which is my favorite tournament.
So what's the difference between World Cup, which is like every country represented, and Champions League?
So your World Cup, that's going to be your national teams. That's going to
Okay.
be like Brazil, Germany, France, United States.
Yeah.
They're going to be playing against each other. But the thing about that is those same players that play for those teams they can also play for what are called club teams,
Okay.
which are normally cities. So, for example, you can have a Brazilian player, I'll say Vinicius Jr., if you know who that is. He plays,
Incredible.
he is incredible. He's playing today, Real Madrid versus Manchester City. He's playing today, but he's Brazilian, so he plays for the Brazilian national team, but he also plays for Real Madrid, the club team.
So would this be like, for example, would this be like you have your, football, NFL, you'd have AFC and NFC. So you have your all-stars that are all playing on one league team. And then,
Yeah.
but you have your individual teams as well.
Here's how I'd put it. You have your basketball players who play on their individual teams within the United States, but then they go to the Olympics and they all play for the United States team.
Okay.
It's like that.
Okay. That's fair. Or all-star games where everyone's kind of playing the same.
I'm not super familiar. Yes, I just watched soccer.
So we're trying to like bridge this gap between both of it, because I don't know anything about soccer.
Yeah.
You don't know anything about.
We could both learn.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, that's fun. And if you top 3 teams right now,
Ooh, club or national team?
your pick. I have no idea.
I have a very biased opinion on that. My team is Real Madrid, so I'm going to say Real Madrid number 1.
Okay.
There's so many different leagues to pick from. Arsenal's looking really good right now, as much as I despise Arsenal. They're from England.
Yeah, despise them. They're the worst team.
The average Arsenal fan. Just kidding. Number 3. I have no. There's so many teams.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick. I will say for the World Cup, France is looking deadly. France, like you look at France and you're like, their B team can beat the other teams.
So from what I understand, our men's soccer team typically does not do well. Is that fair?
Yes, I'd say as of recent years, they've done a lot better.
Okay, that's good enough.
Because like we qualified for the last World Cup, and we automatically qualified for this one because we're hosting.
Yes.
So if you don't know, if you're hosting a World Cup, you automatically qualify. So United States, Canada, Mexico, they're instantly in the tournament.
Yeah, it's like rec league. Everyone wins. Everyone.
Yes, but yeah, United States team, they're doing a lot better. I don't see them getting past the round of 16.
Okay, fair enough.
There's just so many good teams out there. They're a great team. They're well put together, but compared to other teams,
For March Madness fans, that's the Sweet 16. So
yeah, whatever that means.
Yeah. So a lot of things going on. March 17th is the kickoff of March Madness. I know you don't know anything about college basketball, really.
No, not really. But like I was saying with soccer, I feel like if there's a big tournament, anyone will tune into it. So you'll see football fans tune into the World Cup because it's a big tournament. You'll see soccer fans tune into March Madness because it's a big tournament.
Right.
And that's what makes it exciting.
I actually watched the NFL playoffs, even though I don't like the NFL.
Yeah, I watched it as well, and I don't know anything about football.
I think the college football playoffs are stupid because Ohio State and Georgia both lost. I'm not a Georgia fan, but it was nice to see them lose.
Wow.
But
You never heard them talk.
I don't. We lost in the same round. It was so funny. People gave me so much crap because we played the night before Georgia did.
Yeah.
And then the next day Georgia loses, and I'm like, oh, how the turntables have turned.
Yeah. What was it? New Year's Eve, I think.
Office fans.
What was it? New Year's Eve.
That Georgia.
No,
yeah. We lose pretty much every New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I remember I walked into church the next Sunday and I was like, "How was your New Year's, Ryan?"
Yeah,
just to give you a hard time about it.
Yeah. Well, Georgia we missed the winning field goal against Georgia on New Year's Eve as well. Like New Year's Eve just isn't good for us. And yeah, it is what it
Love
is.
to hear it. I meant
what? just messing. But we're actually going to do a bracket tournament for the church. I'm excited about that. And here's the thing here. If you don't know anything about college basketball, I feel like my man right here. I'll say this. We do one for our family every single year. And my youngest, who just picked teams because she thought their uniforms were cute.
Yeah.
Or their mascots were fun.
Yeah.
She won the entire thing.
I've done that. We did one through church I was previously at. And there were like, 70 people entered in it.
Yeah.
And I guess like random teams like, oh, they got a cool logo. They got a cool name. Yeah. I've heard of that school before. And I was just picking random ones. And then I ended up winning the whole thing.
Sometimes it's just dumb luck. It's just how it turns.
I think that's all March Madness brackets.
A lot of times. And that's what I love about it is like teams that should not have a chance. You have your Cinderella teams that just make a...
I like that. It's very unpredictable.
Yeah. It's just fun.
Yeah. And there's a lot of like energy from the underdog teams, which I'd love to see.
Yeah.
I'm a big like fan of the underdog.
Me
You know?
too. I like a good underdog story. So spring training just kicked off for baseball, and then spring football just kicked off for college football as well. So I know we were talking about this a little bit. You're like, cool. Like,
Yeah.
you have no idea. So, you've got, I'm a huge MLB fan. I'm a Cincinnati Reds fan, which means I've not been excited about baseball for a long time because we're terrible. But for all of our baseball fans, baseball's about to kick off here soon. And as my wife says, that season goes on pretty much the entire year. She thinks it's the dumbest thing ever. But there's 162 games? That's crazy. 162
Wow.
games. Yeah. So it's like a marathon. And then college football just started spring football. So what that means is they're practicing, they're scrimmaging, they're just kind of getting back into it. So that's super fun. So you get to kind of get a grip on if your team's going to be better or worse. And this is just like, it feels good. Like sun's out, guns out, weather's good, pollen's out, unfortunately. But things feel better right now. And I'm like, holy cow, we actually, we're not having a chance for snow every Sunday. So that's a win.
Yeah, definitely a win. Yes, we can consistently have church.
That's exactly right. So talking about church, a lot is moving, a lot is changing. If you've been around here, like we're growing like crazy. Have you felt that?
Absolutely.
It's kind of funny for you guys. It's our family ministry team. They're in the family ministry building. You guys don't really get to see outside of your rooms at 11, do you?
Not typically, unless I'm hosting a main service and I'm running back and forth.
Yeah, which you did a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, if you were in the lobby during second service, you probably saw me quite literally running from different parts.
I wish I was here to see that.
It was fun.
I might have to go back to the security cameras for that.
If you find that, pop it up. Like I was
that'd be awesome.
I was trying to like be cool about it, get like slight little jog, and then I got in the hallway.
Yeah, it's wild, man. So I want to kind of pitch back just for a minute or two because there's some beauty in knowing like where we came from. So it's like, you work out on a regular basis. We talked about this a little bit last podcast. There's kind of beauty to go back and look and be like, oh yeah, I remember like even 6 months ago, the way I looked. And I've seen like big gains and big growth and all that.
Or like PR progress and stuff.
All that, right? And so we look back and it's like, we were talking about this earlier. We've been in this building right at 100 days, which is kind of crazy because it feels like it's been months, which I guess that is 3 months, but it feels way longer. Like it feels like we should be going on a year by now. I don't know if does it feel like that to you or does it still feel new?
I feel like it depends on how I look at it. Cause like sometimes I'll be like, oh yeah, we like just moved into the new building.
Yeah.
I'm still calling it the new building.
Yeah.
But then other times I'm like, dang, we've been here for a while.
Yeah.
So it kind of depends on the day for me.
Yeah, it's just kind of a mixture of both. And then our hopes we're like, hey, we're going to be here we have a 5-year locked lease. We're in year 1.5 at this point. So we have 3.5 years. We're like, man, this could be home for, the full almost 5 years. And we could build or go to a new space after that. And we're like, this should be a good space. We weren't correct on that. It is a great space. We've already started to outgrow it, which is wild to say.
Yeah. I feel like it's been a big saying here, but it's a good problem to have.
Good problem to have. Yeah. So we are officially kicking off kids at 9:30 this week because we just completely overfilled our pre-K and kids ministry area. I know you guys aren't quite there yet, but you're getting close. Like students are building.
Yeah, I'll say one thing we didn't have 3 months ago when we first moved in is we didn't have consistency with our attendance.
Yeah.
And now we definitely do.
Wildly consistent. In fact, I was talking to my daughter. I've got a freshman in high school, and we were laughing about this because at the warehouse, she was like, "Oh, it was a good day if we had like 3 kids."
Yeah.
And now
if we had 8 kids.
Yeah, sometimes she was the only one
student.
Yeah. Sometimes she was the only student, if it was an off week.
Yeah. And it was kind of awkward, just like hanging out outside.
Yeah. I'm like, you don't want to hang out with my daughter.
Yeah.
Weird. But now fast forward, it's like you guys have double digits. You're able to split small groups. In fact, you guys are needing to split small groups again.
Very short.
Yes. Like you're on the verge of it.
Yeah. Our girls' small group is getting huge.
It's going to be awesome, man. And so we're kicking off kids at 9:30. How that helps us is one, it creates more space, more people, more space. Second hour, it's not completely capped out in adults yet, but it's getting close even with adults. But pre-K, they are just busting at the seams. And if you've never been in a room full of 2, 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, and a lot of them, like they've got 12, 14 kids in a room.
Yeah.
They've had to split those rooms now, which is great. But if you've never experienced that, good. You know, this is wild. They're great kids, but holy cow,
I enjoy stepping in there, but
it's a lot.
it's a handful for sure.
Yeah,
There's a reason we don't give them donuts.
exactly. And so students are going to stay just at 11. And the reason for that, you want students to be serving at 9:30 as well.
Yeah, I highly recommend if any of the students are watching, like stepping up. I mean, to you, it might seem like work.
Yeah.
But it's really not.
I'll tell you, I've got, I also, you know, I'm a freshman in high school. I also have a fifth grader who technically she has to be in sixth grade to serve, but we're pulling her like a couple months early to be able to serve. She cannot wait. She's been chomping at the bit. She goes, so what do I do to be a small group leader? She's just so excited.
Yeah.
And so I think that's how you got your start, really. You were a small group leader.
Yeah, I was a small group leader. Gosh, sort of my freshman year of high school, sophomore year of high school, stepping up as a small group leader. And I couldn't wait to go back the next week after Sunday. So
yeah, and I think some of the fun, and I've been talking to my daughter about this, is jumping up every year with them and watching them grow in their faith too. So yeah, that's happening. So we do have plans. Like if we like cap out at 9:30 as well, we've got plans to expand some things here. But then after that, we're talking multiple services, like more than just 9:30 and 11, which is wild to say. Crazy. And I would say that's not an if, it's going to be a when. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I can agree with that for sure.
Yeah, it's
we're rapidly growing.
Yeah, we're gonna do a video about all the wins that we saw in February. But this was crazy, man. I did the math. We've had 20 new families that haven't taken the next step. So like we've had probably 30 new families, but 20 of them that haven't taken the next step between January 1st and March 1st.
Wow.
So within 8 weeks, we've had 20 new families that haven't taken their next step.
Now, when you say new family, like how many people does that?
That equates roughly like we do a multiplier of about 3 people per family because you've got some people who just come by themselves.
Yeah. Some
people who are just couples. Maybe they don't have kids. Maybe they're empty nesters. They're coming without their kids. We do have a few in the church that are pregnant that are going to add to the to our pre-K area, but they don't currently have kids, but they're pregnant. They're about to. And then you've got families that, some have a couple kids, some have, 4 or 5 kids.
You have a family of 5, family of 6.
Yeah.
My family was a family of 5. So.
Right. So was mine. And then it evens out to be about 3 per family unit is what we call them. So you're roughly talking 60 people or so.
Wow.
So I didn't do that math because honestly, as you know, we talk about this all the time. Numbers are great. That's not what we really care about.
It's cool to look at.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, yeah, we grew so-and-so, like how many people or whatever, but it's very cool to look at, but that's not the purpose at the end of the day.
No, for us, it educates decisions on what we need to do. It does not, it's not something we gloat on. It's not something we celebrate. In fact, we're not sitting here, none of us are. And I feel like you can back this. We're not going, hey, our goal is to hit X amount of people. That's not a goal of ours.
Yeah.
We're just sitting here going like, hey, we're just excited to see what God's doing.
Yeah.
Now I will say one number we do celebrate and we do have a goal, baptisms.
Absolutely.
That is, but that's different.
Yeah. Last year we did a podcast. That was right before Baptism Sunday. So we could talk about that for a little.
We have 6 baptisms this year. That's crazy.
Yeah. And our goal is what?
12.
12.
Yeah.
We're 3 months in. We're already halfway there.
In fact, I told our elders we weren't going to do this, but I went ahead and moved our goal. So we went from 12 to 40.
Wow.
And this is why. Listen, if we don't hit 40, it's okay.
Yeah.
But I'm like, what if God did such a cool thing that like we have 40 people just, decide to give their lives publicly to Christ. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That would be nuts. And, I feel like we do a good job of creating great environments here, but I don't think we're that good. Like, I don't think we get to take the credit for that.
No, absolutely no.
No, but it's fun to see. Like Michaela, your first student baptism, that was incredible to see.
Yeah, I could share a little bit about that.
Dude, yeah.
I told myself I didn't tell you this. I didn't really tell anyone this, but I set a goal for myself, which I don't typically do when it comes to like numbers.
You're not a number goal setter.
I'm typically not.
I am, but you're not.
And I said to myself, I'm like, hey, like my goal is to have 1 baptism this year.
Yeah.
1 baptism.
Because that 1 can duplicate and, domino and
yeah.
It doesn't even have to disappear,
Yeah. I was like, my goal, 1 baptism.
Yeah.
And like 2 months in, we have 1 already wanting to get baptized. I'm like,
you're like, that's so cool.
Like, that's awesome. Cause like I met that goal like real soon, way sooner than I thought I was going to.
Yeah. Well, and that's what happened with us. And we're like, we're we're pacing at that goal way quicker than we thought. Like maybe we should ask for something that seems absurd.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe you should be like, maybe 10 baptisms this year for students.
I mean, it's possible.
It's possible. I'm not gonna put that juju on, but I think it's just fun. It's fun to see what God's doing. We talk about this all the time. Again, our hope is not thinking about numbers, but like looking back at the warehouse, and that was pure survival mode.
Yeah.
It was like, oh man, like when it would be cold, we couldn't warm the building. When it was hot, we couldn't cool the building. We had you guys outside.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
So I didn't wrestle with the cold a whole lot because I've been here a year.
Yeah.
This month is a year.
Yeah.
So like it was starting to get warm when I got there, and then gosh, it was hot.
Yes.
So like we were outside at like 90-degree weather.
Yeah, you just got signed. And then thankfully, like for you guys, we were in the middle of moving when it got really cold.
Yeah, it was starting to get cold, and then we moved, and I was like,
yeah, we're safe.
inside.
And then you're like, we have a room. You guys don't have a room.
We're inside,
Yes.
you know?
Like, I don't think, like, your guys' room is cool. I don't think you even cared as much about the stuff. You're like,
I was ready to be inside.
I'm just glad we're inside.
I was like, we have AC for when it's hot out, and we have heat when it's cool out.
And those are the ones that we love to celebrate. It's like, those are so cool. Like the services and stuff, like being able to just, this is why we celebrate the services. It's more opportunities for more people to know Jesus. Because when we started this, we were like, hey, let's do 9:30 as a volunteer service. And then it started like picking up, and we're like, okay, let's open it up. If people don't have kids, if they just want to alter, like maybe they have kids, but they're fine doing like a family service, and they just want to show up. And it started to build. I remember, when we started that, it was like 10 volunteers would show up, and we're like, okay, this is awkward, but like it works.
The staff was half of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then like pretty consistently, it's been in the 30s and 40s, and it's like that's kind of crazy. And now we actually have to open it up for full kids ministry. I'm like, that's really cool. And those are the wins. And that's in 3 months. Like we've gone through all of those progressions in 3 months, which is just crazy. And it's like, those are the wins to go, okay, God's just up to something radically different. And it's really fun to watch.
Yeah, I feel like we're constantly like pivoting almost.
Yeah.
Like adjusting to like the amount of people that we have in the building and whatnot.
Yeah.
Which keeps us busy.
It does. Well, I told someone this earlier, and this was part of the story that I'm not going to tell you quite yet. I was like, I think if we were comfortable, we'd be content. And God's like, I don't need you to be content.
Yeah.
So
I could agree with that.
He just keeps making us uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And he's like, just keep moving. Or I know this is probably way too old for you. You didn't watch Friends, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so some of my people will understand this. God's like, pivot. You won't understand that. That's fine. But it's character named Ross. He's just yelling pivot the whole time, and they're getting a couch stuck in a stairwell. But all right, moving on. Let's talk through this real quick. Easter. If you haven't seen these cards, we've literally ordered 1,000 of them.
You stole the card.
Well, yeah, I'll give it back to you.
Just kidding.
But we ordered 1,000 of these, and the reason why, we have 500-ish for Christmas Eve, and we actually ran out of cards. So I was like, we're not running out of cards this time. And I'm telling you, what's crazy is we had like 250, 300 cards taken this past Sunday. Like this past Sunday was the first time we had the cards, and
wow,
already like a quarter or a third of them already taken, which is nuts. But invite people, April 5th, 9:30 and 11. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, we're going to have a great service, great worship. I think we're going to have a little bit of fun after service too.
Well, so in between services,
my bag.
Yeah, in between services, there's a petting zoo. So, there'll be bunnies, chicks, ducks, from what I understand. Maybe a donkey if bites. I'm just kidding. There's no donkey.
You're going to see me out there just with the animals the whole time.
It'd be incredible. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I can't even explain the picture I have in my head right now, but it's like you king of the animals. Like,
yeah,
just
I want one ducks,
bunnies, and chicks.
I gotta get a picture of me holding like 2 ducks.
Yeah, not like girls, but like chickens, chicks.
So you used to be a youth pastor.
This is how, like, we walk into Woodlands, and they go, it's a coffee house for any of you that aren't from this area. It's a local coffee house. Incredible coffee. You need to go. We aren't paid by them or Zaxby's, but it's good tea and it's good coffee.
Gonna sponsor us.
Yeah. If you want to, you can. But we walk in, and literally they know our order every time.
Every time.
2
cinnamon rolls, a sweet tea, and
I go between a hot mocha and an iced mocha. There's always a motive.
They know every single time.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then there's a girl that one of the people who takes our order in it, there's about 3 or 4 of them that know us.
Mm.
And one of them, the first time she met us, she goes, "Did you used to be a youth pastor?" Talking to me. And I was like, or no, she said, "Are you a youth pastor?" I'm like, "I used to be." She goes, "Yeah, you have the youth pastor vibe." I'm like, "I don't even know what that means, but I'm here for it, you know?"
Yeah.
But you were like, "Yeah, you do. You have the youth pastor vibe." Yeah.
This day.
I make the same jokes. So, but yeah, I don't even know how we got on that tangent, but
I have no idea. We're talking about Easter.
yeah.
We're talking about me holding the ducks and chicks, whatever.
So in between services, we have an Easter bunny coming, like a legitimate Easter bunny. So if you want your pictures with the Easter bunny, they'll be here. The Easter bunny.
Was I against the Easter bunny?
I would say maybe it's the legit Easter bunny, or maybe it's one of his like helpers, because he can't be everywhere.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, so we'll have a petting zoo, we'll have an Easter bunny, and then there's an Easter egg hunt, not for students, not for Brandon to start again, but
Including me all the time.
all the time, but for pre-K and house and kids. So between services, and that's to hit both 9:30 and 11. So regardless of what service you come to, there'll be options.
Absolutely.
So it'll be a lot of fun. I'm excited about that. I would tell people, if you're planning on coming, maybe push to the 9:30 service. I think that's going to be the least crowded.
Yeah. I'd say push the 9:30 service, and then on your way out, you'd have the Easter egg hunt, Easter bunny, and petting zoo.
Yeah. And then you get on with your Easter festivities, whatever those things are. Do you guys do like, growing up, did you guys do like Easter lunch or?
Yeah, we're more of an Easter like lunch kind of family. We'd go to church and then we just hang out. It depends on where we are. Sometimes we go to my grandparents' house, sometimes we host.
Yeah.
It varies, but we kind of just hang out throughout the day and do an Easter lunch.
So this is wild, man. I grew up, we didn't really celebrate holidays.
Really?
Yeah. So like Christmas was real low key. I also grew up as a pastor's kid, so that's probably some of it. But Easter, my parents kind of viewed it as like a heathen holiday. Like,
Okay.
they did like, they did some of the things like the Easter egg hunts and stuff like that, but like they didn't really get baskets sometimes, but not very often. And then like, I remember this vividly, even Halloween, like my mom was like, I'll just buy you candy so you don't have to trick or treat. Like they were very strict, very conservative. Yeah. So like growing up, we didn't have like over the top traditions.
Yeah.
So that's been new because we're trying to establish it for our kids and our families.
That's funny.
Yeah. So
you got to make some traditions,
Yeah. So it's been odd to go, oh, like we're allowed to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm having to learn that. So that's cool. Yeah. It's been interesting to say the least, but my daughter, her 15th birthday is coming up. So I'm going to be like, in a couple of weeks. It's crazy. We're getting her restricted license, and I know. And then we're doing spring break, and then it's Easter. So like, it's like pow, pow, pow.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nuts. And so we're in it for the long haul. And then as a church, I would say just get ready. Like it is getting wild and busy and crazy. And then the summer's gonna hit and we're gonna have some fun. You didn't hear it from me, but we might be looking at like maybe an ice cream truck, or like some summer social things, like maybe it's yard games after service.
Yeah, we got speaking of which, we got student yard games coming up on 29.
Yeah. No better way to say Palm Sunday than yard games.
We're gonna have fun with it.
No, it's gonna be fun, man. I'm just teasing you. No, I agree. It's gonna be a blast. Now you were gonna do an event last week for PJ Day, but you weren't able to make it because you had a wedding.
Yep, I was out of time for a wedding.
That's understandable. So you're like, let's pivot, let's do the yard. So tell me about this event if you had to put it in a nutshell.
So it's gonna be a teams of 2 competition.
Ooh.
So we encourage students to bring a friend. I'm gonna say if you bring a friend, it'll get a little extra points.
I like
added
that.
to the board.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have a bunch of yard games set out, and we're gonna have somebody tallying scores. And each time someone wins a yard game, let's say we got cornhole out there, each time one of the contenders wins the yard game, they get a point added to their system.
I love
So we're also gonna have Gaga Ball. We're gonna have Ultimate Tic Tac Toe. We got a bunch of things. I don't know if you saw, but I have the whiteboard back there. I just sort of
I haven't seen that yet. Well,
we got a whole lot coming up for it. We're also gonna have snacks and stuff. Maybe some like root beer floats.
That makes me start happy, and I'll tell you why. Like you probably remember this. So if you didn't know, I was actually his high school pastor.
Mm-hmm.
So he would volunteer as a small group leader in middle school. So that's this is how this all started. I was like, could you just be a small group leader for me? He's like, what if we thought about an internship? And I was like, yeah, that's awesome. And so you feel called to ministry. This is something you want to do. So we are all about bringing up the next generation here. And so giving people opportunities, we have, I don't know, 8 volunteer team leads that are running full ministries here. So it's awesome. But I don't know if you remember this, but I would get into middle school and just dominate at Foursquare when I was the high school pastor.
Yeah.
It was some of the most fun that I've
Yeah, I remember all your like little trick shots, like the delays and whatnot.
Yeah,
I may or may not have learned a little bit from you.
it was awesome.
Yeah.
It just puts a memory burner into these kids.
Oh yeah.
You know, not only do they have a good time, but they come up in high school and they're like, oh yeah,
I remember him. Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, he's good. You know,
Yep.
so you teach them young. That's really what it is.
I remember that. See, I didn't start going to church until my freshman year of high school.
Yeah,
So it was like, I already knew you. And then to see you again on a Sunday morning while I'm volunteering, I'm like, oh, Ryan's here.
It was
I'm
fun.
about to have a good time playing some Foursquare.
well, and that's what I just really enjoyed. You know, the middle school pastor and I, we had a great relationship. Eric's a great guy.
Shout out to Eric.
Yeah, he's no longer doing middle school ministry. He's still doing ministry, but just not middle school anymore. One of the best, if not the best, middle school pastors I've seen. Just all in all, you are too. But
Well, thank
but
Eric killed it.
he's the GOAT. Like he really is that good.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was like, dude, just come in and enjoy it and hang out. And like we would have. So if you didn't know, like the 8th grade to 9th grade retention is usually like 40%. So like 8th graders going to 9th grade, usually about 40% of them go up to the next ministry. We were averaging 75 to 80% because Eric and I had such a good relationship. We worked really well together, but also he was so open-handed on letting me come in and create a relationship with those students that it wasn't hard for them to come in. So I would say this, if you're looking for a great ministry, great impact, student ministry is it. Now you're going to look at it and go, high schoolers, middle schoolers, they scare me. Middle schoolers, I understand it. They've got like boogers and stuff. Like, but no, middle schoolers are great. They're just trying to figure themselves out. I feel like I look at them as like newborn deer. Like they're just trying to figure themselves out.
Yeah.
And but they're so moldable, but they also just want people to pour into their lives. Is that fair?
I can agree with that.
And in high schoolers, like the amount of stuff they're facing right now, just incredible. And they just need good, grounded adults because I've got one. She looks at me and she goes, well, you don't know anything. It's like, well, okay. And then like, you know, Miss Jules, who's her small group leader, could say the same thing. And she's like, she's incredible. And Miss Jules is incredible.
Mhm.
But, you know, I'm like, I said the same thing. She's like, but you're not Miss Jules. I'm like, okay, that's fair. And so I'm so grateful for her because she's doing such a great job.
She's doing an amazing job.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a place to volunteer, students is a great place, but also I want to throw this out there. We're growing like crazy. We need you anywhere and everywhere we can get people. So if you're like, I only have, you know, X amount of time each week, we'll find a place. Just talk to me, talk to Brandon, talk to one of our staff members. We'd love to help.
Or even if it's like 2 to 3 times a month, like that's a huge help.
Or if you're like, I can only come in through the week. I can't volunteer on Sundays. We don't have that time. That's fine. We have things.
Yeah, we have opportunities for sure.
Yeah, because I know you would love someone that, you know, as simple as it sounds, stock the fridge.
Stock the fridge or print out a leader guide. I mean, it's
get first time here guests, gifts ready. You know, we've got things all over this church. So I think that's it, man. That's a lot coming up. Discover Houston is this Sunday. That is, if you're new to Houston Church or you want to know more about our church, how we operate, that's a great thing to do. Get involved. We'll put the link below if you want to sign up for that. So, anything else?
I'll be there.
Yep, you're going to be there. Yeah, that's right.
I'll hang out for a little bit.
Yeah, I love it because I get to introduce you guys and brag on you guys and talk about how good you do.
I'll try not to hide in the back this time.
That's all right. It's okay. You can.
I didn't know you were going to introduce us, so I was just like listening a little bit.
Yeah, it's fun. Regardless, you'll get to know our church, you'll get to know us, and you'll get free food, which that's always a win. So
who's going to complain about lunch? You know,
nobody, unless you just hate pizza, which is un-American. I feel like
we had brownies last time.
we did. They're
brownies this time.
I don't know.
I have a sweet tooth, man.
So
want some brownies.
we have a hospitality team. They are incredible. Like Bradley and Kathy, shout out to you guys. They literally set up everything. Yeah.
Yes.
Their whole team does breakfast for, you know, our teams here on Sunday mornings, and it's incredible. So, you guys are doing just a great job, and the food is awesome too. So you can't go wrong. I think that was one of your selling points, right? The food is good.
Yeah.
I want to work here.
I'm a college student, you know?
Yeah.
You say the word food and I'm there.
We're talking about everything from the message this week. I'll give like a quick recap of where we're at and everything. So this series is called Hope in the Wilderness. Week 1 was with Stuart Hall. A buddy of mine did a great job. He kicked it off. So what this is, it's following the Israelites and their journey through the book of Exodus, but like a very abbreviated part of Exodus. That's when they get out of Egypt and they're getting into the promised land.
Mm-hmm.
And then that sets up our series for revival, starting and kicking off with Easter. So what Hope in the Wilderness is, it's how to feel and find God when you feel like your life is kind of dry. And what Stuart talked about week 1 was like, sometimes we're brought on a long way around and we feel like that's punishment. So like, for example, if you're like, I feel like I should be further along than this, maybe you shouldn't, because maybe God is still developing certain things in you. Have you experienced that?
Oh yeah, all the time. I mean, I feel like we could say like as a church, like we experienced that, like moving into the current building that we're in.
Yeah. How many times were we like, oh man, I can't wait till we're in?
Yeah, because I mean, I remember us saying we'll be in there by Easter.
Yeah.
Of last year.
And now we're getting on Easter again, and it's like,
I feel like in a way it also taught us patience at that time.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, not like it definitely did teach us patience.
All kinds of things. Reliance on God, trusting the timing.
Absolutely.
And I do think the timing was perfect. We've talked about that. We probably weren't ready for Easter in this building. It was great aspirations, but we would have genuinely failed miserably. We would have gotten in, and it wouldn't have been ready. We would have our systems weren't ready, our volunteers weren't ready, and then we have Easter happen, and we're just not ready for everything.
Yeah, it would have been a disaster.
It would have been.
Yeah.
So that was God's holding back of a blessing because of his timing and it being the right time.
Yeah, and I feel like he gave us time to grow, not just as a church, but as like people individually.
Yeah, as a leader
of the church.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I know for me personally, like I was new to ministry. I was new to leading a ministry.
Yeah.
And I feel like just stepping in, going straight into Easter and like all these crazy things, like I would not be where I am today.
I was gonna say, I don't think you could have handled that.
No.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
No. And that's not disrespectful to say that.
No, you would have made it through. But we as a church couldn't have handled that.
No.
It wasn't just you.
Yeah.
I was out 1 week and it was great because we got to test our systems, and our church did great. Our volunteers are phenomenal. Our team leads are incredible. But we saw some stress marks, to go, okay, like when Ryan's out, there's some things that I need to do a better job of like handing off so it doesn't just hinge on me.
Mm-hmm.
And so to put that all in Easter week last year, holy cow.
Yeah.
We weren't ready for that.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
And so, that's great. And so we learned that. And then to this week, we talked through, so you've got the Israelites, they're trapped against the Red Sea and they're trapped against Pharaoh's army. You and I were kind of debriefing this a little bit. And so it's like the old adage of like being, stuck between a rock and a hard place. So,
yeah,
they're stuck. And how often do we feel stuck in our lives? And we're like, gosh, God, like, why am I always stuck on this place? And the whole point of it was like, we live by fear sometimes because we're not really sure what's on the other side of that, or we're afraid of what's coming down. So like they're looking, and literally said they're terrified. They're seeing the army, which I understand. They're stuck on the river edge and this army is coming. They can't leave. There's millions of them. They're not armed. They're not ready to fight.
Yeah.
And they crowd to God, and God's like, come on, like just have a little bit of faith.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, step out, and then the sea will part. So like they had to take the step in faith.
Yeah.
And you and I were talking about that. You brought up a good point. I'll let you hit that here in a second. The sea parts, they cross on dry land. And then the whole point of that was like, what if what we feared today was non-existent tomorrow? Mm-hmm. So like they feared the armies, they feared the Red Sea, and then that wasn't even a thing when they woke up the next day.
Yeah, I feel like thinking of it like these people know nothing but like a whole life of like slavery.
Yes,
like that's all they know.
400 years in that.
Yeah, was it 400 years?
Yeah.
See, I didn't even know that. I knew it was a long time.
Yeah.
But, like they know nothing but slavery. So for them to like, number one, escape slavery, take the long way to the Red Sea eventually.
Yep.
And then for them to be told to take a step into something that they've never experienced before.
Well, and let's be real. Like we try to give people a hard time when we're like, oh, shouldn't they have more faith? But like, have you ever seen waters part?
No.
Yeah. And so like,
have you ever been chased by an army?
Yeah, like, exactly. Yeah. It's like, why would you have that kind of faith? Why would you have that kind of trust? Like none of us have experienced anything like that. But I made this point on Sunday. The opposite of fear is not, I'm sorry, the opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is fear. And so like hate is what comes out. It's like this emotion that comes out of fear.
Mm-hmm.
And so like you hate things because you don't understand them, or you hate things because they feel different, or they feel, against what you know is the norm. And so God is literally telling them, like, if you love me, that's going to drive out all fear, and it's going to push against everything that you're feeling right now. So I'm like, man, if you're sitting there, you're like, I'm just afraid. What's the step?
Yeah.
Forward to God and trust Him and trust that step.
Mm-hmm. I want to pull up something that you said earlier. I wrote it down in my notes. Give me 1 second. You were talking about, let's see, anxiety and gratefulness live in the same part in your brain.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you want to expand on that?
Yeah. So hopefully I have this right, and I'm pretty sure I do, but hopefully I have this right, because it'll be forever on YouTube and whatever. But so they live in the same part of the brain. And so the studies have shown, like, if you are focused on what you're grateful and thankful for, it's nearly impossible to feel anxiety, because they live in the same part of the brain. So you can't operate in both sides. So it would be like me going, I trust God. And if I truly do trust God, I'm not going to have fear. So they can't coexist. And if I have fears, probably because I'm not trusting God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're no scientists, but I mean,
it feels right.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think it's pretty cool, because I had no idea. I mean, obviously there's different parts of your brain and whatnot, but it's cool to know that anxiety and gratefulness like come from the same part.
100%. Fact check us on this. If you can look it up, put it in the comments, that's fine. And if we're wrong, I'll own it.
Yeah.
But
it sounds cool.
Yeah. I'm not going to get everything right, but yeah, so that's what's crazy. But I do know, like, truly, if you do trust God, it's not to say that you won't have fear. You're going to have things that you're afraid of, but like true trust in God will drive out full fear in whatever's next. So here's the story. Are you ready for this?
Hit me. I'm so excited. He's been telling me, it's like, I got a story for you today on the podcast. And I'm like, just tell me already.
So they texted me, and they just gave me like the bottom line of what they.
Are you going to tell me who it is first?
I will in a second. I'm going to set up everything, and then we'll get to it. So they texted me and they said, "Hey, this is what happened, and it was because of your message." And I will say grateful, but genuinely, like, messages come from God, and that's what we want to push for.
Absolutely.
But they said, "Hey, I did this. It kind of sounds crazy, but thank you for the push. Because if I'm not going to be afraid, I'm going to step out on into the sea before it parts." I was like, "Wow, holy cow!" So Jules.
I love Jules.
She's your small group leader. We talked about her earlier.
Awesome.
And so she texted me, "I just quit my job and I don't have another job ready. I'm just trusting God is going to provide whatever's next." And I go, "Well, you can't." And I did get her permission, by the way, to share this. I'm like, "You can't just leave me there." So I instantly called her, obviously. And I'm like, that's a line that I'm just not going to let sit. Right. And so I'm like, "What?" And she goes, "Yeah, you said it. If I'm going to have trust in God, I can't fear, and I've got to take the first step before the waters part. That's all I needed." And so she's been praying for confirmation. She's felt burned out. She's felt like she's not in the right place. And she feels very specifically that God spoke to her through the message to say, "Hey, I'm going to do this." And I'm like, I literally told her, I said, "I mean this in the best way. That is absolutely crazy."
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's awesome,
but it's wild.
But I want you to think through, like, you have your full career right now. Are you going to be like,
correct me if I'm wrong, but she's in the medical field.
She's in the medical field. Now, she's said, like, she spends a lot of her time behind a desk and computers. And she wants to really be with people.
Yeah.
And so that's what she's
a people person.
She is. And it's really fun, because her husband she's like, "Man, he's supported me this whole time." And because it does, like, in a marriage, it requires that full support.
Yeah.
Willie, you're awesome. Thanks.
Shout out to Willie.
And also, like, you're an incredible volunteer as well. So, but I'm like, holy cow. It's like, you trust God that much that you're like, that's all I needed. I needed that confirmation to step into the water. She literally said, "I'm going to step into the water and I'm going to expect it to part." Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I told him, I was like, "I'm not going to give you context. I'm just going to like put it right on you."
Wow. That's awesome.
I'm going to let you talk about well, how do you feel about that?
First off, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And Jules, if you're watching this, good for you. That's awesome to take that step. Like you said, step into the water. I'm still like processing it.
Well,
Like,
while you're processing, I'm going to make a point that you made earlier. So
Okay.
you give it credit for this.
okay.
And I was like, I don't think you're right. And then he looked it up and proved that I was wrong. And
Well, I also said it weird, so it was like,
no, I'm just messing with you.
okay.
It was great. It was a great point. And he said, God he didn't part the Red Sea instantly. I'm like, no, he did. And I, to your credit, like I was processing like, no, God said it and then did it. And you were like, no, 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 no. It wasn't like in that very second. And so you looked it up and
Yeah.
what does it say?
It says overnight,
Overnight.
which isn't a long time. I mean, you could say overnight is a couple hours, but it's still a long time.
I would say regardless, that man's arm was up the floor.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I feel like whatever cartoons or whatever, like depictions of parting the Red Sea, like he yells to stop up and it's just, boom, it's just instantly separated. But like, that's not how the Bible says it. It says overnight.
Well, and I think it's a great point that I wish I would have made on Sunday because like, I'm sure the Israelites were sitting there going, okay, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on,
Yeah.
come on, come on. Cause they see the armies coming down. And to your point, like sometimes you step out and it will be instant sometimes, but sometimes
Yeah.
it's not going to be instant.
I feel like it's like an expansion of like teaching patience,
Yeah.
even though they've already been like, I mean, they're like patient, but they're kind of like antsy at the same time.
Yeah. We're going to walk through that
Yeah.
this week. It's, we're talking about like God providing and, when things are good and God's providing, you feel good, but then
Mhm.
when he's providing and you want to take it in your own hands, that's when it's not good. So that's a precursor for Sunday, but
Yeah.
that, to your point, and that's kind of what I talked to Jules about today. I was like, I'm just going to pray that God opens up because she has some very specific jobs that she was like, I'm praying for this. I'm like, then that's going to be my prayer.
Yeah.
Like if you have the boldness to step out on that kind of faith, I'm going to have the boldness to pray for exactly what you want.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I think that's what the body of Christ is. That's what we should do. We should lift each other up. I'm like, and, it's, oh man, she said to me, she goes, words are powerful and you have to realize, and she wasn't like saying like us chastising, she was being encouraging. She's like, what you guys say from the stage, we are expectant, but you guys are searching God, which we are. And what you guys say from the stage, we're going to take it as like God is speaking through you.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, it was just the weight of it, right? And you're like, I believe that and I trust God. But for someone to just go, that's it. And she sent me her letter. She's already sent her resignation letter in this week.
Wow.
And so,
I mean, good for her.
but yeah, that's faith.
I could imagine doing that. I mean, if I worked like another job and I like told my dad, I'm like, hey, I quit my job because I feel like it. I mean, that's not what she's doing.
No.
But like I feel like that's what my dad would hear.
Yeah.
Love my dad. Shout out to dad.
Hashtag dads.
Hashtag dads.
No, but you're right. Like people, it's crazy. It's like, is what happened for us when we took the step to come to Houston.
Yeah.
Nobody looked at it and said, what great opportunity. They looked at us and they said, you're crazy.
Yeah.
And literally, I've never told this story actually out loud. My former boss, he said, and I think he meant it in a great way. Like I'm not saying any shade. He said, I don't know if it's going to be successful, but I think if anyone can do it, maybe you can. And I was like, oh, that's not encouraging.
Look where we are.
But I think he was trying to be encouraging. I think he's sitting on the side of like, that sounds crazy.
Yeah.
And like, so I look at someone like Jules and I'm like, that sounds crazy. But for her, it's
crazy isn't a bad thing.
But like for her, it's like, no, that's what God has told me.
Yep.
And I'm like,
and God's going to open opportunities for her. So.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're sitting there in fear and struggling and going, I don't know what God's going to do, I think you have to take the first step.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So practically this week, what would that look like? If you were talking to one of your students, what would you say? If you were stuck in a place of going, I feel stuck in my spiritual walk, or I feel stuck with God, or I just feel stuck in life. Because that was the intro of like, back in the day, you probably don't even know these days. My parents used maps to get everywhere, like full on, Atlas maps. We used MapQuest growing up, like when I got to high school.
I couldn't tell you what that is.
Yeah, you have no idea.
I have no idea what that is.
So you put the addresses in and they give you step by step. And so they'll say like in 2 miles, take a right at this. So it's like having a paper version of Google Maps.
Okay.
And now it's Google Maps and Apple Maps. So
yeah, I love my Apple Maps.
Yeah, I made the joke, like, I don't even know what roads are what, because
Yeah.
I
I had to go off course. Were you an Apple Maps or Google Maps kind of guy?
depends on the space. So,
Okay.
and it's interesting to say, if it's around here, I tell nobody to use Apple Maps because it won't get you to the right place. Apple Maps is terrible around here. Google Maps is the way to go. But typically, I like Apple Maps better, and I like the display of Apple Maps better. But Waze, if I'm on a long road trip,
I've heard good things about Waze.
because they'll tell you where the cops are, and I may or may not speed everywhere.
I have 2 tickets.
I actually have no speeding tickets.
Well, I have 1 on the record, but
Yeah.
it's not as bad as it was. Anyways, I'm the Apple Maps kind of guy. I like Apple Maps. I think it looks good. I think it's sleek.
Yeah.
I hate to get off topic.
No, but you're right.
Um,
So like that was the whole setup of it to go, like, the whole craziness is like the old school ways is if you miss a turn or if there's a traffic jam, it's really hard to find your way and you just feel stuck.
Yeah.
Now like Google will go like, recalculating.
Yeah. Rerouting. Yep.
Yeah. And they'll just take you to the right place.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of the venture to look at is like, that's, our version of what I would say that's what God does in our life. It's like, he's recalculating or, remapping, rerouting everything to make sure we're on the right path.
Yeah.
And so if you're feeling stuck, what would you tell somebody?
I'd suggest to to take a step in the right direction. Whatever they think the right direction.
What does that look like?
I feel like that's very you need an example for it.
So I told someone this, I think you might have been on that group text. I told someone this pretty recently. I said, I think you know what the right move is.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to trust God and take that step.
Yeah. And sometimes there'll be like a door opening.
Yeah.
I believe what we talked about it.
Or door closing.
Or door closing.
And just because you want to do something or not every opportunity is a bad opportunity that you should say no to. Like some are good opportunities that you should still say no to. And some are great opportunities that you should say yes to. And some feel difficult that you should say yes to. So like coming here was a difficult move for us. We had to move our family. We had to, school district our girls. We had to uproot everything and reestablish ourselves. But like I look at this and I go, holy cow, if we wouldn't have taken the step, God could have used anybody. So it's not us, but it's such a cool place to be in a place where God can use you.
Mm-hmm.
And what seems crazy to other people seems practical and real for us.
Yeah.
So I think this is what I would tell people. I think if you were spending time with God, which is that like all love pushes out fear thing.
Yeah.
Like if you love God, it pushes out fear. If you're spending time with God, he's going to align you with whatever.
Yeah.
So like when the Bible says like, if you pray, it will be given to you.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, oh, $1 million. Oh, God's not a genie.
Yeah.
If you align yourself, then your prayers will be what his prayers are for your life.
Mm-hmm.
And then your ways will be his ways.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound right?
Yeah, I like that. And I feel like it's also good to remind yourself that like, regardless of your desires, like God still has a plan for you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's a great point. And off that, of like, even when things feel wrong, they could still be going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you have to go the long route, to get to where you want to go, or you have to feel stuck to really see God.
Yeah.
Or as we're going to talk through this next week, is sometimes you got to concentrate on the moments that God has provided, even when it may feel like he hasn't.
Yeah.
So
y'all are talking about the last part of Exodus, or near the end of.
we're talking about the moment of manna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where the manna rains from the
Yeah.
sky. And
oh man, it's gonna be so fun. And
it's such a cool story. It's an interesting but cool story.
Yeah, I just look back at all of this, like the plagues. You look at manna. You look at.
It's a cool story. I love the book of Exodus.
Yeah, like
starting off like the burning bush. I don't know if y'all talked about.
We did not, but in all of this, I would imagine they're just sitting here going, "Holy cow!" Because they're seeing all of this for the first time as well, and they're seeing the power of God for the first time. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I commonly go like, I couldn't imagine what they would experience, but like, I also look at us at this church and I'm like, holy cow, we've experienced the things that people would be like, what does that feel like? We're like, I don't know. It just feels normal.
Yeah.
It's not normal, but it feels normal to us. And because we're in the middle of it with God.
Yeah.
It's
wow.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what like walking through the Red Sea would look like. And it literally sat on dry land.
That'd be so cool to do.
Yeah. I don't know what it felt like, what it looked like, but I would imagine it felt almost at peace. Like, So the last piece of that whole message was your calm is your weapon. And so the whole idea is like, if you settle in the calmness of who God is, that's your weapon against all things.
Mhm.
Like you could be going through the most chaotic season, but like you settling into the calmness of who God is puts you in the right place.
Yeah, that made me think of something. Um, I mean, obviously, like it's cool. Like we think it's like cool. Wow, they're walking through the Red Sea,
Yeah.
but I feel like they were still like very not fearful in the moment. Maybe. I mean, we don't know how they felt in the moment, but I feel like if I was walking through the Red Sea and you see like the waves on each side of you, I feel like I'd be pretty scared.
Yeah.
Cause like to me, like, oh yeah, God just parted the Red Sea. He could also just have it crash right back down on me.
Well, and on top of that, you mentioned this earlier. I think this is something that we can't gloss over. They were in captivity for 400 years. So this generation,
Mm,
this is all they've known. So
yeah.
what's comfortable for them is they wake up every day doing the same things. And the parallel we made is like, it's comfortable to be in captivity. It's comfortable to be in the things that we know and
Mhm.
we're used to. It's uncomfortable to step out on faith,
Yeah.
because we don't know what the other side looks like.
Yeah.
And so that's an important distinction that we cannot miss
Mm,
because, as simple as it sounds like, hey, they just stepped out on faith. Yeah, but like they've also lived their entire lives a certain way. So this is a complete shift for them.
mm,
Is that fair to say?
absolutely.
So like not only to go like we're gonna step out on faith, but we're gonna trust that the waves aren't gonna crash in the middle. Whew, that's a lot.
That's a whole lot.
That's a whole lot. So this is where I think as we kind of wrap this up, I think if you want to see the big things with God, if you want to step out on faith with God, you actually have to spend time with God, to know who He is.
Mm,
Like you can't know the love of God if you don't spend time with God. Is
yeah.
that fair?
Mm,
So, you know, I don't think that this is something you can overlook. We've done this study before. We've talked about this, but if you spend time reading the Bible, it does literally change your life. Like one of the biggest studies that has ever been done, they did it on how often people actually read their Bible. And if you read your Bible 1 to 3 days a week, doesn't matter how much time, it could be 5 minutes, could be, an hour, 1 to 3 days a week, it has literally little to no change in your life. But if you read your Bible 4 days or more a week, it will like completely change everything about your life.
yeah.
So like the studies even show like pornography, alcoholism, drug abuse, like it has a 50% chance of helping you break that. So if
I
you're
did not know that.
yeah, so if you're looking at it and like, pornography is a big deal with guts, right?
Mm,
So if you're looking at it and you're sitting there going, man, I can't stop lusting after things. Well, you know what the result is spending time with God. And that sounds cliche. It seems small. It seems like, oh, just the Jesus answer for Sunday school, but it's real.
yeah.
And,
Absolutely.
and so like to know the character of God means something. And so they're just for the first time understanding the character of God.
Mm,
And so this step on faith, like that's a big deal. And so they're just now spending time with God, just understanding who God is and stepping out on that faith. So if you're sitting there and you're like, what's the first step? I think it's spending time with God.
yeah. I can agree with that. Absolutely. Like reading your Bible and stuff. If you had to like, if someone came up to you and say, "Hey, Ryan,
Mhm.
like I want to start reading my Bible," where would you suggest that they start?
I've had a lot of people ask that.
I know I've asked you that before.
Yeah, a lot of people like to start in the Old Testament, and then they love Genesis because Genesis is fun. Exodus, like Genesis, all creation, all beginning. You got the flood, all that stuff.
Mhm.
Exodus is really cool. It's really like action packed, right? And you really see like the hardship side of God, where He comes and like kills the firstborn of all the Egyptians, which is crazy.
Yeah. I remember we talked about that with students, like how he was like, what do we say? He was also,
It almost feels like a vengeful God. He's not, but that's what it
yeah,
almost
he
feels like.
was, he showed, oh my gosh, I'm blanking. He showed mercy and what's the opposite of mercy? I'm blanking so hard right now.
It's like vengeance. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He showed both at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. And then, but like you also see the incredible like provision side of God where He's taking care of the Israelites and all that. And then Leviticus is all the old, Levitical laws. And so it's all the laws that they had to do and keep and stuff. And you're like, oh my gosh. And then Numbers is literally that. It's just a bunch of numbers. And then Deuteronomy is kind of a recap of everything you've just read. So if you could even make it to Deuteronomy, you're like burnt out. And so what I tell people, like, start in the Gospel of Matthew or the Gospel of John.
Okay.
So you really understand the heart of who Jesus is, because we're going to hit this with Revival, which is our series in April coming up. If the resurrection didn't happen, then none of this matters. So like, if Jesus isn't who he said that he is and didn't come back from the dead, didn't resurrect, if he's not the Messiah, then none of this matters.
Okay.
So I would say start there. And then one of my favorite books, this is not for everybody, but one of my favorite books is James. James is a stepbrother of Jesus because, you know, they don't have the same dad. But he grew up with Jesus. He didn't believe in Jesus as the Messiah until after the resurrection. And so you see this person with James, he's very straightforward to the point where he's like, hey, just like shut up and do the right things. And do the right things because like Messiah is who he said he was. And it's such a great book, but it's going to step on your toes. Like James is very straightforward, and he's not like Peter's a little bit more finesse. Paul's a little hard edged when he writes. James is like, he's very straightforward, and there's like you're gonna feel it. And so I love that. Not everyone likes that. That's like coach speak. Like when a coach yells at me, like that's motivation. Some people crumble when a coach yells at you. I love it.
Motivational speech.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like James is like, we're going to charge the gates of hell with a squirt gun. Like that's James.
Like, let's do it.
Let's go. And like,
I need to read book of James.
Yeah. I actually, funny enough, when I was younger, like high school, I actually memorized the entire book of James.
Wow.
I still remember a lot of the verses. I couldn't like go verse by verse anymore, but it was one of those things I was like, you know, I like it. Let me memorize it. It's not a huge book, which is helpful, but yeah, it's just kind of crazy when something resonates with you, you know, so that's why I tell people. But if you're looking for an action-packed book in the Old Testament, Judges.
Okay. I've not read Judges.
Judges is this back and forth between like Israel wants a leader. So God provides a leader and they do awesome things like Samson, you know, if you know the story of Samson, he's in Judges.
That's very cool.
Yeah. You know, there's all kinds of great stories. Gideon, so he, you know, has this huge army, and God goes, you have too many, and then he ends up with 300 people and just dominates people. And so it's like these highs and lows stories of like these incredible leaders that also have a little bit of a fall out, and then Israel kind of falls to the side, and then there's a new leader. So it's like superhero moments all over the place. It's great. So yeah, I would say the best thing, honestly, you're doing this, and this is great. Find a group of guys. If you're a guy, find a group of ladies. If you're a lady, or find mixed groups, it's fine. But find people who will literally walk through stuff with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that gives like a sense of motivation.
Yeah,
because like
it's like trying to go to the gym. It's hard when you're by yourself.
I'd rather go with one of the guys. But yeah, man, like let's go work out together. Yeah, let's do it. But it's like, oh, I gotta get out. I gotta go to the gym by myself. I gotta.
Yeah,
it's so much better to do it with someone else. And I completely agree with you when you say like find a group.
Yeah, like you guys are
even if it's just another person.
Yeah. You guys are keeping each other accountable. Like you're, you know, iron sharpens iron, and that's biblical. And so that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. So that's another way to be just within the presence of God. And those people will also, if they're good, godly people, they're the people that they're going to talk to you. They're going to be like, hey, is this crazy? And you're going to be like, yeah, maybe, but it's worth it, you know, or, you know, they'll be straight with you, you know?
Yeah.
So I think
they'll push you to be a better person as well.
Yeah.
And the best you, I should say.
Yeah. And that helps you just really understand the character and nature of God too. And I think he gives discernment when we ask for it, but he also gives people to provide that discernment.
Yeah.
So like, I would imagine like looking at a leader like Moses, and you made the point, like he had to have the faith and put that arm up, and it didn't happen instantly. It took overnight, whether that's a couple hours or probably 10 or 12 hours. He kept his arm up, and then Aaron comes along and, you know, holds his arm up so he can finish it. And, you know, I would like, that's what we need. We need those people to keep us up.
Yeah.
When like we're up against it.
Absolutely.
You know, so this week, 9:30 and 11 kids ministry, right?
I'm so excited.
Dude, it's gonna be awesome.
That means I now have the opportunity to step into kids ministry.
Yeah, you can volunteer, or you can get students to volunteer. We're gonna get you back on stage here soon. I'm excited about that. We're actually March Madness. We're actually starting games on stage this week. We've got, I know at 11 we've got two brothers going against each other. That's gonna be really fun. I think we're doing impossible shot.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so they're the Westbrook brothers. You'll have to.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I guess you won't get to meet them at 11, but we'll share some fun videos, like some recap stuff. Yeah. I was like 2 brothers against each other. That's gonna be fun. I didn't have brothers growing up. I have 2 brother-in-laws who, my sisters got married when I was like middle school, high school time. And so they kind of became my brothers, but I didn't have the brothers growing up. But you did.
Yeah. I got a younger brother.
That brother rivalry, that's a big deal.
Yeah. It's timed out, I guess you could say, after a while. Yesterday was his birthday, actually. Happy birthday, Kevin.
Happy birthday, bro. I saw it on my calendar. I actually have him on my calendar.
Do you really?
I do. I'll show you afterwards.
I believe you.
But I have him on my calendar, and I was like, oh, I need to wish him a happy birthday. And then life happened, and I forgot. And so I'm gonna have to apologize, and then
It happens.
and then text him and be like, I'm sorry, you're pretty, I'm not. You're smart, I'm stupid. All that. And, yeah, he's a good dude. He'll be at college this way next year, and he'll be here at house, and I'm excited.
Yeah, we plan on rooming together. Should be fun.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, because we're probably not going to share a room. We did that for like 10 years. So we're like,
you're over that, right?
That's enough.
Yeah,
We got to that age. We're like, yeah, we need our own space. So
yeah.
hope we can keep that. As much as I love Kevin,
You would probably agree, I would imagine.
oh, I'm sure you would. Like, I love him, but Kevin, I will not share a room with you.
So on that note, we love you, Kevin. Hope you're having a great birthday. Houston, we love you. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you guys maybe next week, maybe a couple weeks from now, but we'll see you again here soon.
Yep. Peace out.
See ya.